Trump met with the new Syrian president, Ahmed al-Shara. So in the meeting, May 14th is when this is written, he says, oh, he's an attractive man, smart, blah, blah. And then he says he has a great past. So what is his past? Ahmed al-Shara is his birth name, but I've known him for the last decade as Mohammed Jolani. I've been following Syria closely for a long time. Mohammed Jolani was the leader of Jabhat al-Nusra in Syria starting in 2011 when the uprising began. Before that, he had been in prison in Camp Bucca, American captivity. He was fighting against the Americans in the Islamic State before it was ISIS today, but he was captured. Him and a bunch of jihadis got released to flood the Syrian battlefield to topple Assad. That's why they released all these guys. The weird timing that they did. Then they accused Assad of doing the same thing, by the way. Funny enough. But anyway, he went on to lead Jabhat al-Nusra, the leader. He was pretty secretive for the first several years. He didn't really show his face until about 2015, 2016. The first time I remember him showing his face was a press conference in 2016 where he announced that Jabhat al-Nusra was being dissolved with the blessing of Ayman al-Zawahiri, by the way, and it was going to be renamed Jaish Fatah al-Sham. So they're not al-Qaeda now, is basically what they're saying, so give us some support and help us topple Assad. That didn't work. So about a year, not even a year later, they changed their name again to their current name, incidentally, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. They didn't change their ideology. They broke ties with Ayman al-Zawahiri amicably. They didn't change their leadership. And they continued using tactics like suicide bombers and all kinds of jihadist tactics. So he continued to be the leader of al-Qaeda. Finally in November, December 2024, Syria started to collapse, the Syrian state. Assad fled the country as the army dissolved, as this al-Qaeda army approached Damascus. First, they took Aleppo, which was a surprise to me. I was shocked. I thought surely they wouldn't take Hama, but I knew if they did take Hama, it was over. So they took Hama. That's when we knew it was over. They went towards Homs, no resistance. Damascus fell in the same day, I think, if I remember correctly, but there was no resistance in Damascus. I remember there being a tank stationed in the courtyard just left there, T-72 tank. And the Turkestan Islamic Party was among that, which is still registered as a terrorist group, I believe. They're allies. HTS, the leader, this guy's the leader of. Now he's the president of Syria, without an election, by the way. So still a dictator in Syria, but this time it's a head-chopping sectarian dictator who has been massacring minorities, specifically Alawites and Shias and a little bit of Christians here and there, and Druze. So that Trump's praising his past. He doesn't know anything about his past, apparently. The future of Syria is pretty bleak with Ahmed al-Shara, or as I know him, Mohammed Jolani. So they took the sanctions off. They took the $10 million bounty off of Shara's head, which they had there because they knew no one would ever claim that. They just wanted plausible deniability. They were arming the insurgents fighting alongside Shara from the beginning, Jolani. So they knew what was happening. I knew it was happening. How did they not know it was happening? So, I mean, Syria is a mess, and it really, along with Gaza, it's really exposed the West for what it is.